all warriors of darkness, and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be very special in that it is going to be the part 1 letter from the producer that's going to be talking about the next patch of 5.1. We are all waiting, very excited for it. I mean, I think we still have a lot of things that we can do in the game right now, but 5.1 is coming up, which we all knew that it would. So this next letter from the producer is only going to be part 1, which is going to be talking about 5.1. So this is just a basic summary of what we can be expecting. Most of it is stuff that we already know. Now, we don't have an exact release date for it, for the trailer yet, but that's probably going to be coming out in part 2 sometime next month. What we do have, however, is the title. The title is called Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty, and it looks like it's going to be coming out sometime in late October. So if I had to guess, I would say it'd be coming out either the 22nd or the 29th of October. So make sure you mark that in your calendars. We'll probably end up getting more information when part 2 comes around, and I'm guessing that part 2 of the next letter of the producer is going to be coming around early October. That's my best bet. But we do have a summary of everything that's going to be coming up for us. So the first thing we're going to be discussing is the new main scenario questline, which is always a big thing in my book. So we don't know exactly what it's going to be about yet. However, I'm guessing that we still have some Sin Eaters that we have to take care of. Even though the night sky has returned to the rest of the land, there are still Sin Eaters about, and Norvrant is still a bit of a mess. They have a lot of rebuilding that they have to do. They were kind enough to give us a couple screenshots so we can kind of grasp from what we're going to be getting. Not too much else though, I'm afraid. This first screenshot shows Alphinaud and Alize. They're inside the Crystal Tower and they're talking to a new Mool who is dressed all in red, which is a contrast to the green that they usually wear. So I'm guessing that this guy may be a kind of ambassador from Ilmeg, perhaps? So I'm thinking that maybe the new Mool, now that the world is no longer like on the brink of collapse, like maybe their people will try to have patrons like with the rest of mankind. They are trying to reopen trades and establish like new kind of connections with them, which is certainly possible because they haven't had anybody since Verbert fell. And they would be really helpful in helping to rebuild the rest of civilization, now that I think about it. So that could be one theory. In the next picture, we are actually back in Umor, and we have Alphinaud here talking to our new favorite Makote friend, who is looking deeply, deeply concerned about something. So I'm guessing that we are also going to be continuing the whole storyline with Umor. Even though the world has been saved, I mean, Umor is still... I mean, a lot of people still have reservations about Umor now. If you go through the whole city right now, you still see people who are still indulging themselves. They are still kind of oblivious to the rest of the world. Which makes sense, because after years of just being able to do whatever they want, they're suddenly told, like, no, you gotta start working again, you gotta start contributing to society. And I'm guessing that a lot of people may not be happy about this whole fact. Not only that, but they no longer have a real leader. Okay, I think the Umoran army is kind of stepping in and keeping things calm for the most part. But yeah, they kind of have to rebuild like their whole like hierarchy. They need a new leader, they need new everything. So that is going to be a long, long journey. It's going to be a long battle to fight. And a lot of people still have reservations, like I said, about Umor because of how they acted in the past. Even though I suspect that most of it was probably Volfri's influence, the people here, they're far from innocent. Okay, they're far from victims. They've done a lot of cruel things in the past, and that's probably why we have the title, the Vows of Virtue and the Deeds of Cruelty. So it could be that we are going to be trying to establish ties with, who are probably going to be going to Umor and kind of trying to get people to work things out and possibly even find a new leader for Umor. Which is going to be interesting because we definitely need a new leader, and I'm not entirely sure who we should have just yet. I'm not sure that Highs would be suitable for that whole role just yet. But moving on to the next part, we are having new tribe quests, and you notice they're not called beast tribes anymore. They're just called the Tribe Quests, and here we're going to be starting off with the Pixies, and we're going to be running like these weekly quest lines with them, trying maybe to help them And I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing with them just yet, but we do have a screenshot of another pixie friend that we met. And she's really cute. Just look at her. She is like a bright pink color. And we're actually in what looks to be Lakeland. And she's with one of those flying pigs with enormous ears. I can't remember their name, but that is really adorable. So I'm not entirely sure what this whole storyline is going to be about, but possibly we're going to be helping these little pixies, I don't know, maybe try to make more connections with the rest of the world, or I don't know, it could be anything. We also have the new Chronicles of a New Era questlines coming up, including the Dark Apocalypse. Now, we have all been waiting desperately for this, and they did talk a great deal about the Dark Apocalypse, and we're probably going to be going into more of that a little bit later. But yes, so this is going to be the new raid dungeons, and I cannot wait. We don't know exactly what it's going to be about. We don't know where exactly we're going to be going. There are two really big clues. I mean, there seems to be two different theories going around. One of them is actually that we're going to be going into that dark future and maybe help the people there. I don't know how we're going to do that. Personally, I would love to see that. The other option is that we're going into this kind of machine graveyard that they discovered somewhere in Kalusia from the dwarfs. So it's going to be one of those two, I'm betting. Hopefully, though, it's going to be amazing either way. Next up, we have a brand new instance dungeon. So since this is an odd patch, we're only getting the one new dungeon, and it's going to be called the Grand Cosmos. And apparently it's going to be part of the main scenario questline. Looking forward to that. And yes, the trust system is compatible with it, so you can run through it with your favorite NPCs. So we even have a couple screenshots, and it looks like we are in what looks to be like this grand palace. Okay, it's beautiful. You see white marble everywhere. You see these large, extravagant windows. So I have two theories of where it could be, where we have this long hallway, and we kind of have almost a bolt feeling from it, like from Ishgard. So I have two theories of where it could be. The first, of course, is Yulmore. We're probably going to be running through the rest of the city for whatever reason. Personally, I think that it may be a little bit more likely that we're going to be running through the rest of the palace in Ilmeg, because we've already seen parts of it when we fought against Titania. So this could be our chance to actually see the rest of the palace, so that's going to be interesting to see. We also have new trials coming up, and what that trial is going to be, we don't know yet. It's a secret. They are determined to keep that a secret, which is annoying because I don't like secrets. I want to know. So apparently, like, the whole secret is going to kind of ruin the main scenario questline for us. At least that's kind of what I picked up on. So unfortunately, we don't know what the new trial is yet. We'll just have to be patient. But here we have another big surprise. As I'm sure you remember, the ultimate versions of fighting against Bahamut and the ultimate weapon, we are now getting a third ultimate difficulty challenge, which is also going to be a secret. No idea of what we're going to be facing up against here. If I had to guess, I would say possibly maybe Alexander, perhaps, maybe? I mean, it makes sense to me if it's going to be involving time travel, and we've had a lot of time travel in this particular expansion, but that's just me. Either way, we are going to be expecting a very difficult challenge ahead of us, which is going to be scary just thinking about it. So good luck with that. Okay, they also did talk a great deal about some job adjustments for some of the jobs and some of the new abilities that we have. Not sure how much that's going to be really changing, but that's something that we can all look forward to. But speaking of jobs, we have another big update to the Blue Mage. So yes, kind of the joke of the job quest line here, we have the Blue Mage, which the level cap is now going to be increased to level 60. And of course, there's going to be new job quests, which are going to be probably involving the Wallachie and Martin, as well as getting new Mass Carnival stages. And which means we're going to be learning new abilities. We're going to be having new powers. We're going to be having additions to the Blue Mage log. And of course, we're going to be forming parties with your fellow Blue Mages to complete specific duties. So, I don't know, it really wasn't too much fun before when we were trying to collect abilities. So hopefully they made it so that it is a little bit more enjoyable, so that you can enjoy it if you don't have anything else to do. And I guess one of the ways they're planning on doing that is that they're going to be giving you various rewards, including allied seals and allied tombstones. And certain duties are also going to offer bonus rewards that change weekly. So that is going to be something that you'll want to be doing a little bit more often. Now, they do have some PvP updates. They're going to be making a lot of adjustments for some PvP actions, which I guess we can understand. But we do have a new frontline rule set, which is known as the Onsile Hakora, which is going to be kind of like a practice of the Nadam, which means, yes, it's taking place upon the Azim Steppe. So this is going to be kind of like a training ground where you'll be able to battle and have like these mock Nadam battles, which is going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. And you can see a lot of the Olvars that are waiting for you, and you kind of have to go and claim those while you're battling against everyone else. And so this is kind of preparing you for the next Nadam. Next up, we're talking about the New Game Plus, which means you can replay previous completed quests. And I know a lot of people were looking forward to this because it does get boring after a while. Because you do want to go back and complete those old quest lines and want to see like your reactions and kind of relive the journey once again. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. We are getting some more crafting and gathering revamps because they're making big change plans for 5.1 and 5.2 when it comes to crafting and gathering. They're going to be increasing ease of entry for new players. They're making adjustments to more complex systems and actions. The UI changes are going to be more informative and easily acceptable. And it's just going to be new content for avid crafters. So just because you're done with the crystalline mean and everything else there, that doesn't mean that you can stop crafting. It's still going to be a lot of fun. Their additional actions are going to be removed, unfortunately. We're just going to have to live with that. And there's going to be a new recipe tree display for us. The crafting system updates are going to also include a Japanese kanji used for collection has been changed for the ease of reading. Certain items are going to be gathered as collectibles. Adjustments are going to be to the quick synthesis success rates, and adjustments to desynthesis are going to be all added together. So there's a lot of changes coming for both crafting and gathering. Now for the gathering system update, actions are going to be adjusted, actions are going to be used to locate unspoiled nodes are going to be automatic, and items at unspoiled nodes are not going to appear as unknown or to be out of reach. The stealth action is going to be replaced by sneak, and this is going to be important because with the ability of sneak, it means that you can use it while you're mounted, and it's not going to affect your movement speed, which means you don't need to walk so slowly from one gathering point to the next. Quick gathering will also be added, and the Japanese kanji used for the collectibles has been changed for the ease of reading. There's adjustments to gathering rates and item yields. Elemental shard yields are going to be adjusted, so we're probably going to be gathering a lot more of them at once, hopefully. At least I hope so, because crafting these days goes through a lot of crystals. And we also have an example of the new recipe tree. So if you are looking for specific items that you want to craft, this will show you exactly what materials you need and exactly where you can get these materials and what kind of materials are needed to make the specific materials. Moving on, we have one of the biggest things that everyone is looking forward to, and that is the Ishgard Restoration. Content is going to be designed for crafters and gatherers, and players are going to have to work together to rebuild the firmament. And you can contribute through a number of tasks, including item deliveries, to help rebuild this entire part of the city. Progress of restoration is going to differ between worlds, so the more that we give, the more progress is going to be stored. So you can't just do it. This is not something that you can do on your own. You have to work together with a lot of other crafters and gatherers in order to see any real progress. And that's interesting. It kind of helps builds up the whole sense of community, I suppose. Next up, we have fellowships. Now, you can form casual communities similar to free companies and link shells. A new gate has just been added, which means we have Yojimbo. And so here is a couple of cutscenes. We see Yojimbo cutting down like these giant stacks of bamboo. And for those of you who have played through Stormblood and the Hildebrand questlines, you already know who Yojimbo really is. So that's going to be interesting to see how he gets there. And there's going to be a new high-resolution Domain Mahjong layout. So for those of you who are enjoying the Mahjong game, I'm sure this will make your day. They've also made some performance updates. They're going to be having an assemble feature is going to be added, which lets you perform actions more easily when you're in a party. Now, performance is not something that I usually do a lot of, but I know of some people who do like to enjoy it. They do play a lot of songs for us while we're just sitting and talking. So it looks like they're making it a little bit easier for you to play it. We're having like this whole metronome effect. We are having like these new keys all set up, so it is something really special if you ask me. For the launcher update, they have actually made changes so that we have this dark version and we have this light version. Okay, so for everything else that we have brand new custom delivery clients, which is going to be none other than Kai Shear, which is going to be that blue hair Makote or the blue hair Mistral that we met in Yulmore. So it looks like that we're going to be helping Kai Shear kind of set up his own business, which is nice for him. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and maybe helping to rebuild Yulmore and like the rest of the towns around us, which is going to be also amazing to watch. I would love to see us help to make all these changes. And it looks like since there were so many complaints about it, the pet display is going back into the party list. There's also going to be weapon rewards added for completion of the level 51 to 59, level 61 to 69, and level 71 to 79 dungeons. So if you are looking for specific weapons from any of those kinds of dungeons, well, you're in luck. It looks like you will be getting those weapons after all. Bicolor gemstone caps is now going to be increased from 500 to 1,000, so we're probably going to be getting a lot more people playing with Fates now, which will hopefully help me out because I haven't finished that yet. New group poses are going to be added, brightness settings and character display toggles for non-party members. Here is a big bit of news. Meals can be eaten when you're sitting down, and here is a screenshot to prove it. So yes, you don't need to stand up anymore. You can actually sit down and enjoy a meal with your friends and not have to stand up around the table to really enjoy it. And I don't know, I guess they just added this for the whole role-playing idea. Alright, so moving on, we're talking a little bit more information about the new game plus. You can revisit previously completed quests to enjoy cutscenes, dialogue, and battles that are not available in the Unending Journey, so you can go back and play through these specific parts. And here we have the playable quests are going to be part of 5.1, which means Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers main scenario quests. Now, quests for a Realm Reborn main scenario, classes and jobs, roles, Chronicles of a New Era, and side story quests are going to be made available in future updates. So we're not going to be going too far back just yet, but we will be able to play through Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers main scenario quest lines for now. So the rest of the stuff is going to be coming on later on in later patches, which I find fair. And here is a screenshot where we are probably battling in the Nodum, like with all of our friends, so that's going to be fun this playthrough. So you are free to select any chapter that you want. Now each chapter has to be played from the beginning. Now here's an example of how the chapters are divided. We have Heavensward Part 1, which is patch 3.0, and then Heavensward Part 2, which is patch 3.0 as well. But then they have the Dragon Song War, which is from 3.1 to 3.3, and the Post-Dragon Song War, which is 3.4 to patch 3.5. So once you decide on a chapter that you want to play through it, you kind of are stuck with that whole chapter. You have to play through it. And here is an example of how it's going to work. You can pick any kind of questline that you want to start off with, and you can just play through it at your own leisure. You can relive like the whole journey like in your head if you want to. That's kind of the impression that I got. Like you can play through it like in your head and just kind of relive the whole journey, which is going to be fun. Now instance battles are going to be level synced, so yes, you're going to have to go through these battles again, and there's not going to be any advantage. I'm afraid it's going to be level synced, and you're not going to be able to earn any quest rewards from this, which I suppose makes sense. It's only fair. You are going to have one autosave slot to record all of your progress as well, so you might want to make sure that you have it changed from your normal autosave slots, just so that you don't accidentally overwrite any of your other progress for the rest of the game. At least that's my opinion. Okay, next up we are going to be talking a little bit more about fellowships. We have a picture here of everybody all working together, which looks fun. Now, fellowships are loosely knit communities of players who share similar interests, which can be accommodate up to 1,000 players. Now, a single player can make or join up to 10 fellowships with no world restrictions, so long as they're within the same data center. So yes, you can reach to other people from across these different worlds and just really get to know more people. It's kind of another community building thing. Whether you would just want to announce events or have others help you run through dungeons, they're quick and easy to exchange information so that if you are looking for help, you will have somebody within your fellowship who will be able to help you out. And so for this next part, it shows you just a little bit more about the features here, such as how we have the questionnaire, where you can create polls with up to 5 options, and votes are all anonymous, so you don't need to worry about people reading and judging you. We have notices also set up where you can leave brief messages or reminders for the fellowship of what's going to be coming, or even pleas for help if you are struggling. Alright, so that's pretty much all the new information that we have for 5.1 that's coming out. But they did have some other news for us. And for those of you who aren't aware of this just yet, the Garo collaboration event is going to be ending with the official release of patch 5.1. So as you can see here, we have all the specific armor, which is going to be going away. And even the chance to win the 3 mounts is also going to be going away as well. So if you have not done the Garo event just yet, you still have time, but you might want to hurry before it's gone forever. Now, for a lot of the letter from the producer, they talked a lot about the Dark Apocalypse raid dungeon that's going to be coming up, and they brought out Yosuke Sato and Yoko Taro out. They talked a lot about the Dark Apocalypse, which is coming out, which is of course the new Alliance raid, which we are all looking forward to, and it's going to be known as the Copied Factory. So they have a couple cut screens here for us, so it looks like we're going to be out in the open air, and it looks like, I don't know, like some post-apocalyptic world. I mean, that's kind of what we were expecting, but we still don't really have too much more information about it. We don't really know what the whole story is going to be out yet. If they did talk about it, I apologize, but I don't understand Japanese just yet, so I can't confirm or deny anything that they said. But here we are out in the open air on like this railing. We have what looks like an old vending machine right there, which I find a really nice touch. But here we also have what looks like parts of a factory. We see generators, and this is probably going to be where we're going to be doing our first boss battle. And they even included a couple of pictures for us. So here we have this first picture, which looks like a little robot with like these massive arms. So I think that's either going to be a mount or maybe even a little minion that's going to be following us around. But most likely probably going to be one of the little monsters that we're going to be fighting our way through the raid dungeon. Next up, we have what looks to be maybe even a brand new housing feature. Yeah, and so what we have here, it looks like it actually attaches a part of the wall and then it just somehow opens up. So I'm not entirely sure what that is all about yet, but I do like that design. I know I want to get it for my house just to say that I have it. And we also have what looks to be a brand new lighting feature for the housing, for the new features. And it looks like some kind of giant mechanical arm. But they did reveal to us a picture of what our new boss is going to be looking like. So this is probably going to be either one of the main bosses that we're going to be fighting, possibly not the final boss that we're going to be up against, but as you can see, we are in like this giant mechanical city, and we have like these mechanical arms just reaching out and attacking us. And we have what looks like that whole mechanical arm light thing that's hanging from the ceilings. So maybe it's not going to be a new furnishing idea, at least not yet, but we do have a kind of glimpse, like this little window of what's going to be waiting for us. So at this point, it does look like we may be somewhere in Kalusia. I still wouldn't rule out the idea that we're going into like this dark apocalyptic future that we were warned about. I would really love if they somehow tied that into the whole story, because we still don't know anything about this mechanical city, like this city of Dead Machina. But yeah, after that they did talk a great deal about the Dark Apocalypse, and I'll probably be doing another video about exactly what they said and what they're planning out for the Dark Apocalypse. But I think that that's going to be a good place to leave off for now. So yeah, I hope that everybody is looking forward to 5.1. We have a lot of wonderful things that are going to be coming for us, and I hope that you're all looking forward to it as much as I am. So for the time being, my fellow warriors of darkness, I think that's a good place to leave off. So until next time, bye!